Nope.
Nope.
Nope, I'm high. But I can order us a ride.
Okay.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different.
Pool party at Jesse's. Can you drive? I'm toasted.
Nope, I'm high. But I can order us a ride.
Okay.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different.
Or that the projections would be flood next Thursday?
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency.
And welcome back to Sports Night in Auburn.
It's October, and while the weather's starting to cool down, Auburn sports are heating up.
That's right, Bear. We've got football recap, basketball intel, and the latest on men's and women's tennis. It's a jam-packed week in Auburn athletics. Is Hugh Freeze safe after this weekend's game? We'll break it down and more right here with Sports Night in Auburn. I'm John Prowell.
And I'm Bear Brown. Tonight we've got everything from football updates to all things men's and women's sports. Plus 6 Tigers make their way to SEC honors for the week.
In SEC play, we'll get to discuss an Auburn win. This is their first win since November 23rd of 2024, back when everyone rushed the field against Texas A&M.
On Saturday, we saw Auburn's defense show up in a big way, holding Arkansas to just 63 rushing yards and forcing 4 turnovers. Those 4 takeaways all occurred in the fourth quarter. We talked for weeks about Auburn starting off strong, but not finishing games.
This week, the defense helped them and changed the narrative. On the offensive end, there was a shakeup at quarterback as Jackson Arnold was benched after throwing a pick-6, and Ashton Daniels stepped in behind the center, finishing the game with 77 passing yards and 36 yards on the ground, helping lead Auburn to a much-needed 33-24 victory. Here's a comment from him during practice yesterday about what he sees moving forward.
Whatever I'm asked to do, whatever I can do to help this team win, I'll be ready to do so.
What's the next step for this offense after that win on Saturday?
Yeah, I think just being consistent. You know, obviously we showed a lot of promise out on the field, but we also showed a lot of areas where we need to work on.
While the newcomers' performance was impressive, the win against Arkansas brought conference attention to 2 other Tigers on the team. Alex McPherson went 6 for 6 on field goals, which ties both the Auburn record and the SEC record. That was more than enough to earn him SEC Special Teams Player Week honors.
On the defensive end, it was hard to ignore the work that Xavier Atkins put in this week. He was named SEC Co-Defensive Player of the Week, and Bronco Nuricic was Defensive Player of the Week. This came with his 9 solo tackles, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble, and the win against Arkansas.
Maybe Cam Coleman can get another Sports Center for a top 10 catch this week. His touchdown catch in the first quarter against Arkansas made it to the number 3 on their list.
Rashawn Pleasant makes Auburn history after being the first Tiger with 2 interceptions in a single game since 2018.
Looking ahead, we're back in Jordan-Hare this Saturday to kick off a new month. The Tigers will be facing Kentucky for the Military Appreciation Game. This will be a night game with kickoff set for 6:45, and the Auburn fans better be packing the stands under the light. Hopefully, a November 1st game will exclude anything scary from the Auburn offense.
Brooks Crew will join me in the studio to break down quarterback position. You'll get a glimpse back into Arkansas and what to look forward to against Kentucky. We'll be right back.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual, and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out."
I'll be right back. Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Welcome back, Eagle Eye TV viewers. Today I'm joined with Brooks' crew and our Eagle Eye Insider. To break down some of Auburn football this week, we have some good, some bad, and some ugly to talk about. Brooks, what are some key players that caught your attention this week against Arkansas?
Really some key plays that stood out to me in this past matchup. Catch right there in the first drive on the scripted drive. Just an absolutely incredible catch, falling backwards. Clearly, pass interfered with, but the ref kept it in his pocket because, well, Cam caught it, so you might as well keep it in your pocket. Another notable narrative throughout the game, the switch to Ashton Daniels from Jackson Arnold following a pick six in the second half. The Tigers were down 11 points at that point, and Ashton led the team to their largest comeback in quite a while. 4 straight turnovers to wrap up the game and really put the nail in the coffin for the Hogs was also just a massive standout factor of this game that propelled the Tigers to success.
And who would you say are some key players that had a strong performance in the Arkansas game from your perspective?
Well, right off the bat, we've got to talk about the defense. I mean, I mentioned the 4 turnovers there at the end, and Rayshawn Pleasant had 2 of them by himself. He was the first interception he actually took back to the crib for 6, and then he followed it up 2 drives later with another interception, but he was tackled after about a 20-odd yard return. He also had several super impressive kick and punt returns throughout the game and just overall staggered all over the stat sheet. Xavier Atkins as well, the co-defensive player of the week for his performance. 12 tackles by himself, 4 tackles of those were for loss, 2 sacks, and a forced fumble right along that 4-turnover streak. Then, of course, Alex McPherson, the special teams player of the week, who really struggled last week against Missouri, kicked 1 for 4 then. Wasn't the case this past week against Arkansas. He was 6 for 6, and he tied Daniel Carlson's record for most field goals made in a game by an Auburn kicker.
Now, Brooks, would you say that Hugh Freeze is safe this week considering his performance against Arkansas?
Well, I mean, he made the adjustment he needed to make. The defense looks like a new animal coming out of the half, and if you're not going to fire him after a loss, you can't really fire him after a win, unless, I guess, Mississippi State, like we've seen with some other SEC coaches. He mentioned in his press conference Saturday that he would have a decision on who the quarterback for the upcoming week's game will be on Monday, though on Monday he had some different news. Take a listen.
Any greater motivator than competition, and that's what it is. It's an open competition to see who prepares and plays the best. They both will split reps, and then we'll make a decision.
And Brooks, while I got you here, you know, we have Kentucky this week. Are there any impact players you have on the Kentucky side that you should look at?
Yeah, absolutely. I've actually got a nice little graphic right here for you. The Kentucky team, not a particularly special team as far as SEC teams go. They're the bottom of the SEC, but they're not a team that's just going to roll over and let you run them over. Cutter Boley, the quarterback, completes 67% of his passes for 7.7 yards on average. He's got a 9-to-5 touchdown to interception ratio, and turnovers are something that the Wildcats have really struggled with this season. But I think if the Auburn defense can really step up, force Cutter to make some uncomfortable throws, I think they shut down the pass game. And then the rush game, Seth McGowan, number 3. He's got 476 yards on 93 carries, which is good for 5.1 yards per carry. He has the lion's share of the Wildcat touchdowns with 7, and though he's not exactly the most prestigious running back the Tigers have faced this year, that would probably be Ahmad Hardy of Missouri. He's still a variable threat on the ground, and if they shut down Cutter, they're going to lean on Seth, and if they shut down Seth, not much the Wildcats can do. Defensively, Alex Afari Jr., again, the Wildcats, not a super strong defense, but Afari is the leader on this team. 43 tackles and a sack, because notably, no player on Kentucky has more than 3 sacks, and there's only one who does have 3. So, not a great personnel. The fact that they haven't fired their head coach after a 2-5 start to the season, and the fact that he's not even really on a hot seat is interesting to me, but that's all I've got.
Well, thanks, Brooks. That's all the time we have with you, and thank you for joining us in the studio. It was great to have you here. When we get back from break, it wasn't apples or oranges that came to the Plains, but the Banana All-Stars. That's how we'll look to start our Men's Minute, and you don't want to miss it.
Yeah! Sam, Elmo!
Oh, hey, Julia. Are you ready to play band with us? I'm going to play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum. Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
Mm-hmm. With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text-to-emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Yo, Scott.
Hey.
I'm heading out, man. You want to ride?
No, I got my car, but I actually really need to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you know what? I was just in there. The line is like 10 people long.
You know, I think I'll just...
Dude, are you okay?
You wouldn't believe what I was just thinking. I am definitely buzzed.
Yeah.
I think I will take this, and I will take that ride home.
Smart man.
Did you see how that dog was looking at me?
Welcome back. It's time for our Men's Minute. Let's start off with the men's baseball team. This past week, the Tigers celebrated a huge milestone, 10 years of Butch Thompson as head coach. Under his leadership, Auburn baseball has become one of the most respected programs in the SEC, with multiple NCAA tournament appearances, a trip to College World Series, and countless memorable moments on the Plains.
This past weekend at Plains Park, we went completely bananas. The Savannah Bananas came to town, bringing their unique style of baseball and high-energy entertainment to Auburn. Fans packed the stadium for a night full of fun, laughter, and some unforgettable moments. There was dance moves, tricks, and plenty of banana-style baseball to keep everyone smiling from start to finish. Coach Thompson and the Tigers will look to keep the same energy rolling as they continue fall preparations to build momentum toward another strong season in the spring. Here's a video recap.
Seemed like energy was high in Plainsman Park this past weekend. The baseball team will be back in action November 8th against Kenshaw State at Mickey Dunn Stadium. Now, Lydia, what's the update from the men's golf team?
Well, our golf guys finished up their fall season at the Clerico today with an absolute dub. We need to talk about Josiah Gilbert, who led the Orange and Blue to victory. On the first day, Gilbert shot 2 over with a slow and steady start. Day 2 was a whole different beast. Gilbert woke up and locked in with a final finish on day 2 with a score of 8 under. Momentum built for the Tigers. On day 3, Gilbert was able to claim the leadership board and finished 3 under. His impressive play pushed Auburn to the finish line to secure the win. Now, let's race on over to talk track and field. The teams will head up to good old Rocky Top for the SEC Championships this weekend. We wish them the best of luck. Now, back at the desk, they have some men's tennis updates.
Thank you, Lydia. Men's tennis will split up this week. While the teams stayed in Alabama, half the squad competed in the CCB Collegiate Invitational in Birmingham, and the other half was in Tuscaloosa for the Crimson Tide Fall Challenge.
In Tuscaloosa, the Tigers were able to win a tiebreaker against Columbia after grabbing 3 singles victories. The effort was led by Billy and Freddie Blades. They were able to finish off with play 3-1 over Florida State on Sunday.
Over in Birmingham, Joey Phillips won half of his matches. He had a late surge after winning in straight sets against UAB. They will compete for a bid to the NCAA Singles and Doubles Championship at the ITA South Section Championships November 6th through the 9th.
We're going to swim this one over to Lydia because I've heard you had more on the pool and the platform.
Yeah, you're right, John, and I have the best news. All good things come in threes, right? Well, last week, Auburn's swimming and diving program received honors for the SEC Men's Freshman of the Week, SEC Women's Diver of the Week, and SEC Women's Swimmer of the Week. Congratulations to Mastin Ballou, Emily Halifax, and Elizaveta Klavanovic. Our aquatic Tigers are also headed to Knoxville at the end of the week to compete against the Tennessee Volunteers and the Louisville Cardinals. Well, the Stephen Pearl era is in full force, and we could not be more excited to watch the program continue to grow. It's only been about a month, and Pearl has already picked up his first recruit. 4-star Caleb Williams from Florida made his commitment just days ago. Williams posted to Instagram with the caption, 1,000% committed. This 6'6" guard is sure to make waves in Neville, and Auburn is ready to welcome him to the Plains. The team heads to Atlanta at the tail end of the week for another exhibition game against Memphis, and we are now under 1 week away from tip-off on the Plains. Let's get this season started. And you know what time it is, throwing it back to the desk for some basketball trivia.
Lydia's right. Now it's time for some basketball trivia. We know a lot of the Auburn's men basketball fanatics watch this show, so we want to test them. If you streamed their last exhibition game, you'll be in luck. In that game, who was the leading scorer? Was it A, Tahad Pettiford, B, Keyshawn Hall, C, Elijah Freeman, or D, Kevin Overton? We'll have the answer and Eagle Eyes Women Watch, where Lydia will dive into some Auburn women's sports. When we come back, some tiebreakers ended up being heartbreakers, and some other tiebreakers ended up in the favor of the Tigers. Stick around to see which teams were affected.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly.
Lights out. Good night.
And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
I was living in a shelter juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah! Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
We asked in our last segment, in their last exhibition game, who was the leading scorer for Auburn men's basketball? Was it A, Tahad Pettiford, B, Keyshawn Hall, C, Elijah Freeman, or D, Kevin Overton? If you guessed B, you'd be correct. He's been all over Auburn's men's basketball socials, but his game has backed it up. In his first outing as an Auburn Tiger, he had 26 points, 8 rebounds. He'll be a player to keep your eye on in the future.
Now let's move on over to the stables. Our women's equestrian team took on the number 4 ranked Texas A&M Aggies this past Friday, October 24th. The Tigers fought hard, tying the Aggies 10-10, but ultimately dropping the meet raw score.
Following that, Auburn faced SMU, and once again it ended in a tie, but this time they came out on top of the tiebreaker. Avery Gwynn was one to watch this past week, earning the most outstanding performance on the fences after a standout ride that helped the Tigers finish strong. Here's a glimpse of that.
Looking forward to the girls playing TCU on Friday, October 31st, a Halloween matchup that is sure to be sweet. We will be sending them good luck. Now, let's move it over to the courts. Lydia has all the info about the women's volleyball team.
Well, Vera, you would be right. The Lady Tigers have been serving up some serious competition on the court with 2 back-to-back SEC wins. It was all Tigers against the Razorbacks. Football got it done on the field, and volleyball followed with a suit with a huge win of their own. Volleyball hosted Arkansas last week for their breast cancer awareness match and brought the heat. Blair Darby has the inside scoop.
This evening at Neville Arena, the number 2 ranked Auburn Tigers return to the Plains to host Arkansas for a volleyball matchup. Let's see the highlights.
This SEC matchup captured an electric crowd, honoring breast cancer survivors and raising awareness through its pink out theme. In set 1, the Tigers attacked their opponents offensively, with 4 of the Tigers obtaining 3 kills each. The Auburn defense held their ground, while 2 of the Tigers combined for 2 blocks, leaving the Razorbacks defeated in set 1. Set 2 detailed many lead changes. Dreves and Chambliss put together 4 kills. Dreves, along with teammate Edson, would both achieve a double-double, Dreves' 7th of the season. The Tigers went on to win set 2, however the Razorbacks were not done yet. Arkansas, despite the powerful offense of the Tigers, managed an even higher hitting percentage, forcing a set 4. In set 4, the Tigers came with vengeance, specifically Belle Zimmerman. Zimmerman collected 7 of her match-high 15 kills in set 4 alone, and with the help of her teammates, the Auburn home crowd left Neville Arena proud.
Auburn volleyball takes the win tonight, winning 3 of the 5 sets. I'm Blair Darby, Eagle Eye TV.
Then on Sunday, the ladies traveled to Norman to face the Sooners. Lauren Dreves recorded a season-high 11 aces and 20 kills for the Tigers in another 4-set win. SEC play continues for the Lady Tigers as they head to Columbia for their match against the Gamecocks. Auburn looks to stay hot and bring back another dub to the Plains. Then volleyball took care of business on the court, and now it's time to head to the pitch. Auburn soccer is still fighting. The Tigers hosted Missouri in their final regular season match. Junior Dylan Driver struck early to give Auburn the lead for most of the night. Despite outshooting Missouri and landing half of their attempts on the frame, the other Tigers found the back of the net late to even things up, ending in a 1-1 draw. But head up, the Lady Tigers aren't done yet. The SEC tournament kicks off this weekend in Pensacola, Florida. Auburn hits the field Sunday to face LSU. Yet another Tigers vs. Tigers match, November 2nd at 7 p.m., sending our best to Florida. Now, while soccer heads into postseason play, women's golf is keeping that momentum rolling on the fairway. Our number 6 ranked Lady Tigers are tearing it up in Kailua, Hawaii at the NEA Invitational. Auburn made history with a program best score, a record 21 under 271, the lowest score in relation to par in program history. Freshman Charlotte Cantonis came out swinging, leading the field after day 1 with a 65. Right behind her, Anna Davis tied for second at 7 under. Another strong showing from the Tigers. And speaking of Anna Davis, she was just named SEC Player of the Week following her invitational win at the Ruth's Chris Tar Heel Invitational, finishing under par in all 3 rounds. Big congrats to Anna. Auburn finished the tournament in 4th, shooting 15 under as a team. Continuing our women's watch, the desk has some updates on women's tennis.
You're right about that, Lydia. Competing in the ITF Women's 35 Invitational in Norman, Itika Tuka Naren Kawa Rotu Nunova entered herself into a trip to singles finals, and the Lady Tigers were competing on October 20th and finished play on Sunday.
With Ashton Bowers already clinching a spot in the NCAA championships, the rest of the girls on the team will fight to earn a spot as well. A winter team and a spring team are getting into the action with the exhibition game in Lydia. More on that.
Yeah, Vera, let's swing it over to softball, where the team traveled up I-85 to Atlanta for another exhibition game versus Georgia Tech. Although falling short, Coach Chris Malvo says adversity was something the team had not seen yet this fall, and that this game was important for them. Now rounding out our women's watch, we're hitting the court once again to talk women's basketball. New head coach Larry Vickers is gearing up for an exciting season with his new team, and the future looks bright with 4-star recruit Ashley Knox announcing her commitment to the Plains. The 6'6" wing made it official just days ago on Instagram. The Tigers will hit the court November 3rd in Charlotte for their exhibition match, another team we cannot wait to watch this season in action. Well, that's it for me tonight, and you guessed it, more trivia, more specifically women's basketball trivia, back at the desk.
Thanks, Lydia. We are close to the women being in action, and I'm excited to see that Larry Vickers does with that program. Speaking of head coaches, who was the second head coach of the Auburn women's basketball program? Was it A, Aletha Bond, B, Joe Chincampi, C, Susan Nanelli, or D, Nell Fortnier?
When we come back, I'll have an answer for you on that trivia question. We'll also end with the half an hour with the trending moments and some alumni who are making the Auburn faithful proud.
My parents weren't fluent in English, so in school I had to be independent and take initiative, and that's how I handle every project I get.
Hey, Kevin, you thinking about retirement?
I'd love to, but I'm pretty busy with all this.
Yeah. Hey, let's meet our retirement coach, Avo. A is for taking action.
Not anxiety?
No, Kevin, you're gonna be fine.
You sing?
Barely. V is for variety.
And you dance?
Sort of. Come on. O is for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before the break, we tested your Auburn women's basketball knowledge. Who was the second head coach of the Auburn women's basketball team? Well, we're gonna test your knowledge today here, especially with the Auburn women's basketball program. Was it A, Aletha Bond, B, Joe Chincampi, C, Susan Nanelli, or D, Nell Fortier? If you guessed C, Susan Nanelli, aka The Nun, you would be correct. Speaking of The Nun, Eagle Eye TV's Morgan Sims hosted the TV show in Morganized Chaos, where she watched the full interview on Eagle Eye TV, or Eagle Eye TV YouTube, or at Eagle Eye TV. Now let's head to my personal favorite segment, Auburn in the NFL. Well, we have Roger McCree, who had 3 tackles and 1 sack in the Titans' 48-13 loss against the Colts. It was also added he got traded yesterday to the Rams. Jameen Sherwood, who had 5 tackles in the Jets' 39-38 win over the Bengals, tied for 13th in the league with 35 solo tackles this season.
Running 11.6 yards per attempt in Eagles' 38-20 win over the Giants. James Dean, 6 tackles and 1 forced fumble in the Buccaneers' 23-3 win over the Saints. Now it's time for the Training Tigers segment. Auburn men's golf player Jack Albert had a hole-in-one at the AU Club. Congrats to him.
For a fun surprise, the Auburn women's sports came in with Yeti and partnered with Auburn women's volleyball and soccer. As well as the men's basketball team and softball team, some students came out and were given some donuts. That's pretty cool. I got me a donut while I was there too. And
now for the Auburn baseball debut of their new sky blue uniforms at the Banana Bowl. I have to say, it's my new favorite, and they looked great on the field.
I like the colors.
The colors look great. Now, on that note, that's all we have time for tonight. For more Sports Night in Auburn and Eagle Eye Sports, follow our Instagram and Twitter pages. Make sure to subscribe right here and tune in on YouTube every single week. My name's Bear Brown.
And I'm John Proud. For all of us here in the Eagle Eye studio, from Sophia Weber to Mattis Idell, who are our producers, as well as Grant and Lydia, who are our analysts, this has been me, John Proud, on Sports Night in Auburn.
Good night and War Eagle.